Good morning, good morning, good morning, and happy Friday to my lovely people. Yes, welcome to Be Inspired. In today's topic, we're actually going to revisit, okay? We're going to revisit this. This was a request, and we're going to revisit it. And it is parenting a parent or an adult child. Parenting an adult child. It's extremely hard to do. You won't get anywhere. And I'm just going to put that out there. Hey, Nate, how you doing? Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Glad you could join me. We'll just get this. I'll just put this out here. You will not be successful parenting. And these are my views, okay? Parenting a parent or an adult child. Why? Because they're going to make their own decisions. What you have to do is transition from parent to counselor. Parent to counselor. Now, you have a lot of mature children. I don't mean over 18. Over 18, like the 18, 19-year-old, they're still in college. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an adult, a legal adult. An adult child that does not even live with you. And even if they have to come home to re-nest, you still have to set some ground rules and some boundaries. Yes, there are boundaries. Hey, Maria. Yes, there are boundaries. You have to keep those boundaries. Do I believe in being your child's friend? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because let's be real. Even us as being adults, you might have a friend and you might not like what they say. You fall out, but you're still friends. No, we're not going to do that. Let's maintain professionalism. That's why I say transition from adult to a counselor. How many people seek counseling? Hey, Kev, and praying for you, brother. And you too, Maria. Seek counseling and are friends with their counselor. Not many, because you don't want them to know all of your stuff. You want results, and you can't be honest. You can't be honest with your friend. Let's be real. Let's keep it real. If it's your friend, you might, you want them to be biased. You're like, okay, this is this way, but if you go and you sit in front of a counselor, you'll just spill it. That's what you're supposed to do in order to be successful at it, okay? Good morning. I can't pronounce it, Savalje. That's a fancy name. So, with that being said, you can't parent a parent, and a parent as an adult child. So hear me clear with that, because you won't get anywhere. If you want them to listen to what it is that the advice that you're trying to give them, you have to make sure that you're listening as well. Good morning, Levan. You have to make sure that you're listening as well and try to understand where they are, because guess what? That child is not the same child that you reared. And you'll hear parents say, oh, you've changed. Oh, you're not the same. Well, am I supposed to be the same? Not at all. Why? Because you watered me. You allowed me to grow. And when I grow, hopefully I didn't just grow physically, but I grew mentally. If you didn't, that's a problem. Okay, if your child did not grow mentally as well as physically, that's a problem. And maybe you need to re-nest and you need watered as well. And what happens when you actually, I'm beeping, sorry about that. What happens when you actually transition into counselor mode? Your child that you reared is able to water you as well. And then you both can grow together. Again, don't misunderstand or mistake what I'm saying as being your child's friend. I don't believe in that. I really don't. Because guess what? I need to tell you the real. You come to me for advice, I'm going to give you advice. Now, here's the deal. If I give you advice and you don't take my advice and you take someone else's advice, don't call me when it falls down. Not immediately after. You call me after. And as a parent, you don't have to say, I told you so. Trust and believe. If you instilled everything that you knew and you reared your child the best way that you could, they already know what your response is going to be. And that's why most children don't go back to the parent, because they don't want to hear parenting. They need some advice and rearing, even though, as a parent, you rear your child, but growth, but let's water them instead of just rearing them and browbeating them. They want to hear what you have to say and help me get out of this because you probably have seen or been in this situation. Okay? So you want to just kind of transition into counselor. If they're calling you to be a listening ear. What does listen mean? That means to hear and understand, or hear with understanding, okay? So you're like, okay, well, let me see where this person is at. And they might not be in the best situation, or they may be in the best situation and they're asking for advice, like, what direction should I go? Transition, parents. Transition to counselor mode. And these are for my adult children, not my 18 through 21. I'm talking children that, hey, good morning, Rick and Damon. Children that are outside of the home, children that are away at college. Guess what? They are influenced not only by you, because once they get out and they become adults, they are influenced by the entire world. So they are not going to be your same little boy or your same little girl. It is time to say, okay, this is an adult, almost like birds. You know, they push them out the nest. I'm not saying push your child out the nest. I have a whole nother thought on that. I'm one of those that be like, no, come on back and re-nest if you need to. Go out. If you're not ready to go out, don't push them out. But here's the deal. You have to set boundaries. You have to set boundaries and say, okay, adult child, remember, transition. We all have to grow. Transition. If it's an adult child in your home, okay, I'm the counselor, but this is what the counselor is going to say to you today. How long you plan on being here? You set your boundaries. What's your plan? What's your goal? Don't browbeat them about decisions that they made before, because trust and believe me, being a child and all of us being children, we already know. Some people are like, oh, I'm never going back to my parents' house, because you know you're going to have all of that. And that lecture is good. That's why I said transition into being a counselor, because you can actually speak. We call it a lecture because when you're the victim, I'm going to say the victim, okay? When you are the victim or the person that actually needs the assistance, you look at everything in a negative light. You look at, oh, here, I got to go through this. Don't look at it like this, like that. Reboot your hard drive and say, okay, what is it that I need to take with me? You know you're going to have to hear it. You're definitely going to have to hear it. But it's probably something that will help you along the way. And as my, that's why I said you can't parent a parent. The children who have children, get all that knowledge, gain all that knowledge, because guess what? You can actually sprue that and water your little flower or plant. Your child. You can water your child, okay? And instill what was instilled in you. Now, if it wasn't instilled in you, if you weren't raised by your parents, you had that role model or that parental figure that can actually give you that. And it's mighty interesting that the parental figures always seem to be counselors along the way. And as the child, you don't take the parental figure, you don't take it negatively. Why? Because you probably feel like they didn't have to take me in. They didn't have to rear me, versus a parent, you know, having to do this job. Like, okay, here you go. And you had to throw that back. Like, well, I didn't ask to be here. You know, all that extra stuff that goes along with it. But I'm just letting you know it's hard to parent a parent. It's hard to parent an adult child. Okay, I don't even want to. I don't want to be their friend. I don't want to know all the extras. I don't need no details. No, thank you. All is well. Let's just maintain this relationship. I love you to the end of life. But I don't need to know all of those type of details. You know what I mean? Your personal details. I need to know things to help you along the way and to continue to water you. Okay? Because you already know, once you neglect a plant, let's look at a plant. You will use that analogy. And if you don't water it, it dries out. And then eventually it dies. And that's not what we want for our future, okay? Or our legacy. We want our legacy to grow, become wealthy and healthy. And the way that they become wealthy is being healthy, okay? All right, lovely people. I'm not going to take much of your time. You already know, and I didn't. Keep those inboxes coming. Thank you for the questions. I truly appreciate it. The Shop Talk question of the week will be back on, because we had a good one for tomorrow. Follow me on all socials. Check out the YouTube page, okay? So I can get them numbers up. And that's it. Shop Talk with Mel every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Brown skin. Yeah, brown skin last Monday was good. It was about Edge Patrol. So she told me, start with my ponytail because my edge is going to come out. We don't want that, because I'm going to need my sides. Need my sides. You need your starch and your vegetable, okay? You can't just have the meat up here, you know what I mean? Your protein. So, all right, lovely people, share if you think this video it will help somebody, but it's real easy, quick. Just transition, people. Be bold, take responsibility and say, okay, I'm going to do this and I will water my legacy. I will water my plant, okay? Even fruit. You want fruit to grow, you got to water that soil, okay? All right, good morning, Letha. You guys have a great day on purpose. Find you, embrace you, most importantly, always love you. Until next week, people, be inspired right here every Friday, 7 a.m. Hey, and don't forget, smile at somebody today. You might be the only smile they see.